Good morning and welcome in to Archbishop Spalding High School. A final tune-up for these two teams as we get ready for the high school lacrosse season. Connor Newcomb, Sean Cottle with you here for this one as the PVI Panthers here in the Annapolis area to take on the Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers. And Sean, should be a pretty big-time matchup. We got a lot of Division I commits on either side here, and not a conference game, obviously. It's still technically a scrimmage here early in the season, but you're not going to find a more talented matchup maybe in a preseason game than we are today.
Absolutely not. This is some high-level lacrosse we're going to see here on New Cut Road. I'm very interested to see Spalding. How do they respond to last year's success? The hunters are now the hunted.
Spalding going to go in kind of the white scrimmage pennies today, as was told by head coach Brian Phipps this week that the number's not finalized on the roster, so next week we'll kind of see who's who as they go with the practice pennies today. PVI in the road blues, and we are off. First face-off of the day as Blake Malamphy in there for Spalding, as they had some scrimmages over the weekend up in the Pittsburgh area, and they were without Blake in that one and kind of sorely missed him on the face-off dot, and was one of the issues for them. And Coach Phipps talked about, they got some things to clean up from that, but one more kind of tune-up game against a really tough opponent. Many rank PVI in the top 25 in the country in high school lacrosse, and it's the Panthers who get the first possession of the day.
And having Blake Malamphy back is a huge thing for Spalding there. We really struggled at the face-off X with the freshman Ryan Criswell, who was battling, but having Malamphy back is such a luxury.
And it looks like PVI was in the crease, and it'll go over to Spalding. They turn it over on their first possession. And you know what? Spalding's got depth everywhere, but it's tough to put a freshman in there on that face-off dot against all the talent that they played against this weekend, and Blake obviously takes him to a next level.
Without question, Landon, one of the best teams in the country. I believe we got a flag down here for an offsides.
And so a little bit of sloppiness early from PVI, as Spalding will possess it, the high-powered offense. Augie D'Ambrosio, and they'll swing it around to Race Ripley.
Jack Newell, the freshman, number 27, lefty attackman, gets the start.
And Newell kind of the one new face in this offense right now, at least to start for the Cavaliers. Here's Ripley. Saw a quick double team. He gives it off to the star of the conference last year, Mikey Weissauer.
Without question, one of the best players in the country, if not the best. He's so versatile in what he can do. He can go left, he can go right. He's fast off the dodge, and he's deceptively strong.
And here's kind of the underrated guy on this offense, and Nick Gutierrez gives it up to Weissauer. What a stick move. He took a big hit. And that's going to draw an easy flag from the referee. I mean, took a little bit of a shot up high as well. And it's not something you want to see on your best player, especially in just still a game considered a scrimmage. And Weissauer looks to be okay. He's going to readjust the helmet here.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if that's not a unreleasable penalty there. That looked high with contact. Could be 2 minutes here.
Yeah, and it's, that's what Mikey does to defenders. With the stick work, you think you've got a caused turnover, you've got something, and somehow he wiggles his way through a defender, and defenders kind of panic sometimes when he gets by him, and that happens.
He's so quick off the catch, and you saw that patented toe drag move that he likes to go to on the lefty wing there.
Yeah, Brian Phipps this week talked about it. Weissauer was the breakout star of the MIA last year, and now teams are going to be keying in on him more than ever before, and he talked about the importance of Race Ripley and Nick Gutierrez and guys like that on offense, getting going. Even Augie D'Ambrosio as well, because Weissauer is going to see more doubles than ever before.
Without question. They're going to be quick to slide to Mikey, try to find creative ways to take him away, and the supporting players really need to step up.
So an EMO here for Spalding right on the doorstep, and there's the freshman with a first goal here today. And you talked about him kind of sliding in with all these seniors, and he gets the first look.
Well, he's so versatile in what he could do, too. You could bring him out of the box. He plays that lefty side. He can dodge from the wing. He can dodge from X. You can invert him. He does a lot of good things for Spalding, and he's a good player to have on the field, and it's unbelievable that he's playing at this high level just as a freshman.
It's Jack Newell with the goal, and 1-0 early for the Cavs as they lead PVI in this one. And again, that unreleasable penalty you talked about is still going to be an issue if Malamphy can come up with this face-off win.
I believe they should just be up one man.
Yeah, they got it on the scoreboard too, but the offside should be
wiped
cleared
out.
off.
Figuring this out now.
Yeah, they got 18 and 12 off, and I think that's what the refs are talking about. So it should be just a one-man up here for Spalding as we continue. And I think they got it sorted out, at least on the field.
And we got a legal procedure here taking too long to get set up at the face-off X, so the referees just gave the ball to Spalding.
So definitely a little sloppy for PVI. Obviously, Spalding so far, they've played more of these scrimmages, early season games. But the Panthers come out and they win the first face-off, and that's how you like to start things. But since then, it's been just a little out of sync.
It's so important to play a tough scrimmage or an out-of-conference schedule to prepare you for the MIA, that rigorous conference. You know, you want to play the best teams you can early to find out who you are.
Ripley up top, still on the EMO are the Cavs here for another 20 seconds. Gutierrez couldn't catch the pass, and he's trying to just out-physical his way to get that ground ball. And D'Ambrosio picked it up, but they're going to call him for a hold there and send it the other way.
They tried to play man ball, which is where one of the players takes out the man and the other player goes and scoops the ball up on a 2v1 ground ball, and it looks like Gutierrez may have held him a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little easier to do that, too, when you are a man up. You don't have to sacrifice anybody to go get that.
Without question.
Ref was keying in on it and sends it the other way.
I'd like to see Spalding ride a little bit better, especially when they're man up. You know, I think last year that was one of their weaknesses is riding. I think they can take the ball away much better off the ride, given more effort. You know, they have that 3-back drop ride where they have athletic poles and fast middies, so they should be able to take the ball away.
So the Panthers looking to even this up. Bounce shot, they score. PVI is on the board here in this one to tie it at 1. As the first shot of the day squeaks its way by Connor McMahon, I should say, in goal for the Cavs.
And that was just a right to left split down the alley. The slide seemed late. You know, against Landon, from what I saw, they were sliding a little bit too early, and right there it's interesting they're sliding a little late.
So goal comes from Young there for the Panthers. He ties this thing at 1. And immediately another violation at the dot.
Jamison Kaufman, number 0, picks the ball up, a sophomore. You know, from the Annapolis area, he could be another player that can really step up for Spalding. They need him to step up, and he's very capable of it.
So we're back to even strength here. PVI's got a couple of face-off guys who are headed to play at the next level. They're really deep at that position. But since that first face-off, they haven't even gotten a chance to show off the skills.
And Malamphy's so good at what he does. He's got a lot of different counter moves, you know, a quick sweep, or, you know, he's so good at winning the clamp. And if he doesn't win the clamp, he really scraps for the ground ball, which is what makes a really good face-off guy.
It'll be interesting to see how the Panthers throughout the season kind of work. They've got 3 face-off guys committed to play college lacrosse on this team.
Wow.
Which just got to make it tough to get your rotations in. And when you have the hot hand, how do you keep the other guys ready to go?
Yeah, that's an incredible luxury. And we see a little bit of a zone here, a zone look. Let's see what Spalding shifts into.
1-1 early. Newell with the goal for the Cavs. Freshman puts one in. He's behind the cage, and he just got walloped. Ripley, though, picks up the rebound and puts it top shelf.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Jack Newell gets de-sticked out there. The ball pops right to Race Ripley, who's not going to miss many of those.
Yeah, that's a tough break for PVI right there. I mean, you make a great defensive play behind the cage, and one of the best players in the MIAA just scoops up a free ground ball.
And Race, it's so funny with Race. He has a knack for being in the right spot, whether it be, you know, cutting off ball or just little things like being in, you know, getting through, getting the ball up there and taking a shot, taking advantage. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good there.
Yeah, and an impossible spot, too, for the PVI goalie on that one. It's Matthew Deneen in goal. He's a Utah commit. And it was just 1-0 with Race Ripley. Deneen guessed low, Ripley went high, and the Cavs have a 2-1 lead. So the Panthers back in possession. And they've been a little out of sorts, but they have scored on their only shot today. So once they've gotten it together offensively, it's looked pretty good. It's a nice defensive play, or so we thought, from Luke Brookman, but late flag comes out. It'll go against Brookman.
So often when you're trying to jam a midi and, you know, either they turn their back or you hit them on the side, if they fall down with possession, the flag is going to come out.
Brookman, a D-midi on this Spalding team who made some big strides last year. We really saw him more and more as the season went on. And talking with Coach Phipps this week, he said, you know, Luke's right back in that D-midi role. They got a lot of seems like talented younger guys in the D-Midi group as well, but Brookman going to be kind of the more veteran leader of that group.
Without question. Luke, he's a dominating physical presence. He just looks like a guy you wouldn't want to dodge against. But there's a lot of new faces on the defensive mini group, so that could be a big question coming in.
Nice feet in front of goal. They tried to get it to Young. He tried to, in one motion, try the behind-the-back shot, and he didn't catch the pass at first, and Spalding comes away with the possession.
Man down clear. They work on this a lot at practice. They work on their clears. They work on their situational clears against a 10-man ride. A man down clear, which is where they get the shorty. They call it a radar back to the ball, catch it and go. Use your legs, especially when you got a varsity quarterback out there for Spalding and Nick Gutierrez.
Yeah, he's kind of a big man on campus here, is Gutierrez. As Weissauer started to line it up, he thought about it from distance. Instead, he'll give it to Gutierrez. Behind the cage. Oh, Ripley's got it opening. Oh, off the keeper and in. Off the goalie stick. That's another tough break in goal for Deneen. It's 3-1 Cavs.
That's a tough break. He stepped the right way. He was all over it, and then it ricocheted back off the stick and to the opposite way that he stepped. Great shot for Race. That was a good job by him and Jack Newell to play a little two-man game, a little 2v1. That's all about zone offenses. Where can we find a 2v1? Do we drag and replace and throw back or throw forward? Spalding, they practice their zone a lot. They zone on defense a lot. So Coach Ford and Coach Phipps are ready for zone, and we're seeing it right now.
Yeah, you saw it on the replay right there. That ball kind of deflected off the meat part of the stick in between the keeper's hands. Rings off the stick, and just the perfect carom for Race Ripley's second goal. But again, that depth at the faceoff dot, PVI's got it again. And as I mentioned, 3 Fogos going to the next level. Jacob Fowler, a senior, is going to play at the D3 level at Mary Washington. Johnny Kidd, another senior who is committed to go play at Lehigh for this team. And then they've got Grant Gunchie, who is a junior headed to St. Bonaventure in a couple of years.
And that's a 3-headed monster, it sounds like there, and that's a really tough matchup from Malamphy. If you have 3 guys who can all face off at a high level, trotting all 3 of them out there in different ways, keep them fresh, that's really tough.
D'Ambrosi lost his footing, turned it over after the Cavs had gotten the possession back, and a little break for PVI here. Up top, Marcos Signorello, University of Maryland commit.
It should be an early slide here. Looks like Spalding has designated it.
And a little bit of an errant pass. D'Ambrosi trying to run it down. Big ground ball, scooped up by PVI. Carson Boyle's got it. Boyle, a senior on attack, headed to Vermont next season. Play some cold weather lacrosse for the Catamounts. Now Signorello with a shot. Fires it high. Future Terp out there.
And on defense, you've got to force him underneath and not to the middle of the field. That's where all your help is.
It's that one. Oh, a break for PVI. And a great save in goal from McMahon.
And Coach Phipps speaks very highly of Connor McMahon. Thinks he's one of the best goalie, if not the best goalie in the state.
Yeah, talking with Coach Phipps this week, and of course, he talked about it's a special relationship. Listen, Brian Phipps is a high-level goalie in his own right, and still is.
Right.
Playing the professional game, of course, had a great career at the University of Maryland, and he talked about how, the relationship is even special, or more special, between a head coach and his goalie when that coach has the goalie experience. As Gutierrez couldn't catch that pass, it's going to be a foot race. Oh, what a job to keep that in with the stick. Put it through the legs of the defender and pick it up, and it's going to end in a goal for Spalding.
Heads-up play on the sideline there. Ryan Schreier does what he does best, and that's on the crease, quick finishing. When he's from there in the slot, it's going to go. But that's a great job of keeping the ball alive on the sideline.
Yeah, that play was made by Gutierrez, and I don't even know if he's going to – I don't think he's going to get an assist on that play, but he deserves one, as it was Schreier who just caught and fired. You see it on the replay there. And I think another shot that got a little bit of a piece of the keeper, Deneen. But he wasn't able to keep it out. And a hot start for the Cavaliers, 4-1 early in this one. Got another violation on the faceoff.
For Spalding, what I'm really excited to find out is in the third and fourth quarter, the depth, the new guys, the young guys. you know, because you always will find that one diamond in the rough in a season, just from speaking of experience of teams I've coached, is that you'll get a midi or a defensive midi that'll step up that you weren't expecting.
Schreier, with the fake pass, got the opening, and he scores!
Those flips put so much pressure on a defense. Do you switch? Do you go with? Do you stay over top? It's almost like a moving pick because the flip acts as a pick. The only way to play it is to try to reroute the flipper into the receiver. You saw that in the St. Mary's game a little bit, but they are so tough to guard. They've kind of revolutionized this modern offense with these flips.
And when you hit them with the fake flip, everything goes out the window as well, and the middle opens up. And that's not what you want if you're PVI. That's why they're calling timeout here. Spalding up 5-1 early in this one. Back here at Archbishop Spalding, 5-1, the Cavs lead it. Connor Newcomb, Sean Cottle with you here for this one. And Sean, I mean, it's been almost a perfect start for Brian Phipps' squad, and it's going to be PVI starting with possession out of this timeout. And, you know, they've capitalized on some Panthers mistakes, but overall the offenses look fantastic.
The offenses look good. The defense had that one lapse. Clearing the ball, they're clearing the ball better. They had that one lapse there, but things you can tighten up, and you can always count on Connor making some saves in that.
Yeah, he's made a couple of stops early, and now it's really up to this Panthers team to try to figure it out on the offensive end. Move to the right, shooting space. McMahon got a piece.
That's a phenomenal save there. You notice a trend in the goalies right now. Anything down the alley overhand, they're kind of dropping to their knees. So overhand down the alley high now goes. It's interesting, and a lot of shooters have not adjusted.
Gutierrez will bring it the other way. Already 5 goals for Spalding in this one. I think they're 5 out of 6 in terms of possessions today.
They're scoring on a very high level of their possessions. This is a freshman, Gordy Bennett, number 51 in white.
Feet inside, Gutierrez couldn't handle it, and the Panthers come away. Turnover they desperately needed to force right there on defense. Attempt to clear. Oh, and a nice little spin move there.
Very nice getting out of there. Trailer.
Doesn't matter, though. Trailer got there on defense. Brendan Danahay, he was in there. It's a big ground ball right now.
And we got failure to advance. It's going to be Spalding's ball.
So the Cavs will come away with it. So they turn it over. They're able to get it right back.
And that's the riding effort that we talked about earlier that I'd like to see better from Spalding. They're very capable of doing it, and you saw it right there.
Here's Ripley with 2 goals already. D'Ambrosi up top. Aiden Hamill into the game. He's got possession here. He's getting pushed to the turf. Still got the pass off. They get it over to Gutierrez, and he slings one wide. D'Ambrosio over to Hamill. Nice find. Spin. Score. Gutierrez as the flag flies as well.
That's a nice set play there. That's Coach Ford and Coach Phipps there. It's a drive, a throwback, and a seal. You saw it worked out really well. Gutierrez, good switch to his left, and he got the and one.
Nick Gutierrez, the senior, head to UMBC next year to play for the Retrievers. As, of course, they like what they see from him.
And I think very highly of UMBC and Coach Ryan Moran over there. They do a great job recruiting, finding these diamonds in the rough. And they're putting out some great talent. And, you know, they get a lot of local kids, which is great.
Of course, Connor's headed there as well to join Nick next season.
And I'm sure there'll be some other members on this team that follow in their footsteps there.
It's kind of an effort you have to make if you're UMBC. I mean, in the lacrosse world, a well-known program, but in the grand scheme of things in terms of a school, that's generally where a lot of just the student body comes from,
right.
Is from the state of Maryland. And so they kind of capitalize on that. And, you know, where can you find more talent than in this area? And they do a nice job.
And you look at that's exactly right, because you look at the last guy on the bench for both of these programs, and he could play college lacrosse. That's how good these teams out there are. We got Spalding man up with possession, and we got another flag down.
They've taken advantage so far. Of course, they had the easy goal on the doorstep when they had the two-man advantage earlier in this one. And I think Brian Phipps may want to chat a little bit with under a minute to go in the first period here.
He calls a timeout. Now they're up 2 as opposed to 1. I don't think he wanted to run that first penalty out. So the timeout actually makes him go 6v4 now.
And we'll see what he can draw up when we come back. Big opportunity here for Archbishop Spalding, up 6-1 here late in the period, and they are 2 men up here for another 18 seconds. They've already had one of these chances earlier. They got an easy goal on the doorstep.
We got a 3-3 free, dragged into a 2-3-1.
Nice deflection there defensively. At least gets them a little out of rhythm, do the Panthers.
Now they're back at a 3-3. 2-3-1 now. One of them has released.
Just up 1 man. Didn't find the opening they wanted, but they still have 5 seconds on the EMO. And now it's going to go back to even strength. So PVI kills it off, but Spalding still with the possession. 10 seconds in the period. Weissauer, time to go to work. Weissauer tries to fire one low, and he rips it wide. It's going to stay on this end. 4.8, probably a pass, maybe 2. Before they get a shot off.
And that was a great job by Paul VI on the man-down defense. 6v4, so tough. 4 seconds here.
Oh, what a find. Weissauer goes down, try to bounce one home, and he was in lots of traffic. That's going to end the first period, so PVI maybe a little momentum boost to hold on that EMO, but it was all Cavs. 6-1, they lead it after 1. Start of the second period here, 6-1. Spalding leaves Paul VI here in this one. Connor Newcomb, Sean Cottle with you on a sunny but windy and chilly day.
And there's Ryan Criswell winning the faceoff there. We talked about that earlier. A lot of times he won't win the clamp, but he does get the ground ball. He's a really scrappy young player. He's a product of the 2025 Hawks in the club. And, you know, he's been a really nice surprise for Coach Phipps at the faceoff X, really filling in well for Blake Malamphy.
Yeah, and we know that Malamphy's going to be the number one guy this season. He's got all the talent in the world at the dot. But if you've got a freshman behind him, then you can at least trust if something happens, you need to make a switch in game, or just in the fact that you know the next guy coming is going to be a pretty big-time winner for you at the dot. That makes you feel good. It's a nice save for the Panthers. They're going to try and run the other way. We haven't really seen them in transition yet today, and a bounce shot goes over top the goal.
And that was good getting up and out by Paul VI there. You saw the save and the immediate break-up field. Spalding running some players off. They were able to get a quick 4-on-3 there.
At the very least, maybe you're trying to get the offense going. You get your first transition opportunity, and maybe a shot from a long pole isn't your favorite thing on a transition, but he was the guy open, and why not try and get back on the board?
No question. It's very tough to beat this Spalding defense 6-on-6, so transition's a great way to try to take advantage of some easy goals.
We might get our first pole goal of the day there, but bounce shot goes high. Young bowling over Brookman. Young, the goal scorer for the Panthers. They tied this game at 1. It's been 5 in a row from Spalding since then, as that shot goes wide, and a dive is not going to be enough. Nice effort from Young, just trying to keep that possession.
Great run out by Connor McMahon. That's things that Spalding celebrates. You know, you mentioned Brian Phipps as the head coach of a former goalie and a current goalie for the Redwoods. You know, he runs this goalie academy called the Goalie Performance School. Connor goes all the time, and they talk about celebrating those runouts as a team together.
And he talked about this week, just how special that relationship is between him and Connor, knowing that, like, when you're a head coach and you're a goalie at the professional level, and maybe your goalkeeper gets scored on, you know what happened in front of your goalie. You become the best guy to talk to.
Exactly, and Brian Phipps is such a great coach. You know, he works with the offense. He obviously works with the goalies, and as a goalie himself, he knows a lot about defense, slide, and recovery. So he could be the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, the goalie coach. He really knows just about every position and how to coach it well.
He knows how to pick a school as well, as we both can agree on. Goalkeeper for the Terps.
Without question. Got Mason Klessinger in there, number 25. They're trying him out as short stick D-midi, formerly just an offensive player. But, he's got a lot of raw skill and talent, and he's going to be good in this program for years to come.
Another nice save from McMahon. Going low again, and he looks pretty nimble. They may want to start shooting high because he's been all over those shots down by his ankles.
And somewhere, Coach Moran's smiling right now because he knows there's going to be a lot of saves for the future there for the UMBC Retrievers.
Cavs couldn't clear.
And that's something you see early, especially with the new players out there, just getting comfortable in the clearing game. This is why you scrimmage and play out of conference games, is just to get these little things tightened up, because you can always clear against yourselves pretty easily, but clearing against somebody else is different.
Yeah, Young got dispossessed beautifully. Here comes Spalding the other way. Just more really good defending, and who else but Alex Ross?
Alex Ross is an incredibly versatile defender. He's great on ball. He's might be even better off ball. You could put him at LSM, could put him at down low, and they even flirted with having him on extra man a little bit, playing offense.
Schreier hits a pipe. That one had some heat on it, and it'll go to the Panthers. He was trying to make it 7, and we saw Ross kind of sit himself down in the middle of the offense just for a second there. And we know he's got skills up top. We've seen him go coast to coast at times. And you want to talk about a guy who's playing at a really high level and is going to go play at a really high level. Of course, headed to Penn State next year, play some Big Ten lacrosse.
Yeah, and he'll stay and play a little bit on offense when he clears the ball. He kind of reminds you of that old Brown team and the Lars Tiffany teams of the past, where you have poles that bring it over and then are very capable offensive players, and he's one of them.
Yeah, it's something we see in the MIAA a little bit that kind of separates the really good teams, you know, there are some teams in this conference that have poles who can handle it well, who can score a little bit, and it just takes some teams to the next level.
Without question, because if you can dodge against offensive personnel on defense and make them play defense, that's a huge advantage for you. And you see it with Virginia. P.D. LaSalle, the faceoff guy, stays and plays and forces the other Fogo to play defense.
Another shot goes wide, and it's going to go to Spalding. They've done a nice job just being quick on their feet, backing up these shots. It's Jackson Roberts who ran that one down, but not a lot of extra possessions for PVI early in this one. A nice outlet there.
And not running the ball out after a shot, that's a turnover. That's basically a turnover. So Spalding's doing a really good job, you know, not acting, not reacting. They're taking off, and they're anticipating the shot and getting to the end line quicker.
Weissauer looked to load up, go low to high. Instead, a couple of spin moves, took a shot, and gets right back up. Never lost the ball. And then gets it back and fires it wide.
And that's a great, quick slide alert call there by Paul VI. They were ready to go on Mikey, and they did.
Even when he's double teamed, knocked to the ground, and fires a shot wide, he's still fun to watch. Schreier picked up the initial ground ball, got it knocked loose again. And some strong defending from the Panthers. They've got a strong group back there. And they struggled a little bit early in this one, but this game's been 6-1 for a while. Both defenses have kind of locked in.
You got a turnover here, a good ride by Spalding, getting the ball back. Now we'll get the offensive personnel back on.
Yeah, each team into a little bit of a lull. We've seen a couple of turnovers go back and forth. We haven't seen a lot of shots on cage from either side in the last few possessions.
Without question. And if you're Spalding, you can't let your foot off the snake here. Paul VI is a very, very talented team. You know, you got to keep the gas pedal down and keep the goals flowing, or they could get back into this quickly.
A little bit of an errant pass there. Goes out of bounds as we see 99 in there. It's PJ Pokness, I believe, junior attacker.
Yeah, PJ's coming off an ACL injury last year. He was on the JV team that I coach here at Spalding, and he was going to be our go-to guy at the JV level, and an unfortunate injury, but it's good to see him out there on the field getting playing time early.
Yeah, he's got the brace on, but seems to be moving well enough to be out there.
Excellent inside finisher, a guy who can, you know, pop off the crease and take a step-down shot. Moves really well without the ball.
So you see him kind of taking space right in the middle of the defense right here. With under 5 to go in the first half, and it was 6-1 at the end of the first quarter. It's been all defense in quarter number 2. See if Spalding can change that on this possession. Gutierrez gives it up inside. Ripley tried to pick up the ground ball.
It looked like Spalding was trying to get an invert situation there with Aiden Hamill, who's a converted mid. He used to be an attackman. Great player to dodge a short stick. And Paul VI switched into a quick zone there, which is a really, really prudent choice.
So can the Panthers get anything? Sean, I mean, we got to go way back to the very beginning of this game. Panthers scored. They tied this game at 1. That 2 or 3 minutes in, it seems. And they've been held scoreless since then. Can Young change that? He fires wide again. He had that only goal.
Yeah, part of that is Connor McMahon's been hot. But another part is I'd like to see Paul VI get a little more movement with hard dodges, move the ball twice, and re-attack. I'm seeing the ball die in their stick a lot of times.
Here's Carson Boyle. We'll see if he can get something going. You got to look for Signorello. Marco Signorello in the number 1 jersey, the top attacker on this team. Only a couple of shots on the day. Hasn't even put one on cage yet.
Now they're going to move it again, and go.
Yeah, they're going to get it to their top option. Moves right towards the goal, and again, fires wide. He's just been a little off today.
And see, Spalding backs up the cage again. That's Alex Ross over there. That's another turnover for Paul VI. They got to figure out the backup. Great ball by Connor.
And not going to be able to keep it in there. Just a little bit sloppy in the second quarter. And again, you know, overall, as Jamison Kaufman just couldn't handle that off his stick. We're still early season.
Exactly.
Frankly, this is still technically a scrimmage.
Exactly.
And you're going to see some issues like that. But the hope is, obviously, if you're Brian Phipps, if you're on a coaching staff on both sides, that you get those issues happening now and not, we sit on March 6th here and not on April or May or whatever you're getting into, late season in the MIAA, because this Spalding team, as we know, played to a high level last year, had their season end in heartbreaking fashion in the MIAA A-Conference Championship game, a 9-8 loss to Boys Latin. They were that close to winning the title in 2021. And the next step as this program continues to rise under Coach Phipps is, well, get the one thing they didn't get last year was a victory in that championship game. That's obviously the goal here in 2022.
And their motto this year is one more, meaning one more goal, one more game, would have won the championship, take one more rep at practice, do one more of everything, and then they'll be hoisting that trophy. That's their motto.
20 on the shot clock here for the Panthers. Ross, nice one-on-one defense. Boyle, a little bit of space, goes low and scores. Finally ends the goalless drought for Paul VI. It's Carson Boyle, the senior attacker and the Vermont commit, who puts one home. And I mean, looking at the clock here, that was a good 15-plus minutes without a goal for PVI. They finally cut back into the lead.
Yep, number 17 for Spalding there, Robbie Hopper. He's got a short stick in his hand for the first time that I've ever seen it. And what happens a lot of times is when a long pole picks up a short stick, they tend to check more often than they should just be running with their guy. And I think that was a scenario right there. But Robbie's a versatile defender, and I think a good idea to have a short stick in his hand, and we could see him out here.
Yeah, already early in this one, getting some other bodies into the game, Coach Phipps.
It's all about finding out who you are. Like, what's your identity? What guys do you go to, when your back's against the wall? And playing a team like Paul VI in the early season is just such a great idea, because you kind of figure out your strengths and weaknesses as a team before you get into conference play.
So the Panthers will set it up, just got a goal, won the face-off, and now they get another one here. They kind of creep right back into this thing after their offense was being shut down for most of this game. Young goes by Brookman momentarily, and Luke able to catch back up. Nice one-on-one matchup here. Young gives it up behind the cage to Boyle. Boyle feels the double, gives it away. Nice ball movement here. They go to Signorello. Lost it, got it back, found space, and a check from behind, got it off his stick.
Excellent trail check there. He's beat to the inside, so the trail check was the last resort, and Alex did a good job getting it there.
Doing some math here, it looks like technically shot clock should be off.
Great math from a fellow Terp.
Despite the journalism degree, I was able to put that one together in my head, but shot clock's still running, but it is off now for PVI. And a flag's gonna fly, as they're going to get Logan Meehan right there for Spalding.
And that's a bit of an undisciplined play. You got to go under that pick there and just run and pick up your guy instead of blowing it up, going straight through, which is a foul, a minute foul.
Panthers looking for one before the half, 24 seconds. Nice move inside, they get it. Paul VI right back into this one with back-to-back goals late in the first half.
Like we talked about, you can't take your foot off the gas pedal, because Paul VI can get back very quickly, and we're seeing it here with 2 unanswered, and all of a sudden we got a ball game here.
Yeah, just a nice move, split to the left, beat Ross, and fire off the shot. And all of a sudden, saw that flag fly, 21.5 seconds. This will be a huge face-off right here, because there's plenty of time for whoever wins it to get one more scoring chance before halftime, as Meehan's going to go off for a minute.
Without question, minute foul, so the goal does not wipe out the foul. And, with the quarter expiring here, you got to know the rule book here. Whoever has possession while there is a flag down, if you have possession and the quarter expires, you get possession at the end of the start of the next quarter.
And they're going to call violation.
We'll see if Paul VI takes a timeout here.
Yeah, would you go? Would you take the timeout? Would you hold?
Well, if you hold the ball, then you're only got 40 seconds to work with in the second half. So I would try to get something, flirt with something. But it looks like they're content with just holding the ball and starting the third quarter man up.
Yes. Spalding's going to pressure a little bit just to see if maybe that'll tip their hand, but that won't be the case. So PVI content with the back-to-back goals heading into half. And at halftime here from Spalding, it's the Cavs 6 and the Panthers 3. We got a good one here in the preseason between two of the top teams in the country, and we'll be back shortly for second half action.
I still remember my first day.
We get to school, and my mom was like, "Don't be nervous," and I'm like, "I'm not nervous," but I was freaking out. I really had no clue what I was walking into.
Everything was unknown and uncertain.
What if I don't find my friend group? What clubs am I gonna join? Did I bring my lunchbox?
Each step that I took closer, I could feel my heart race, this mixture of anticipation and excitement, the fear of the unknown.
From the moment stepping on campus, I immediately knew everything I had heard was true. I found what I was looking for.
A lifetime of experiences that have been unforgettable.
High school is where you figure out who you are. Spalding cares about that.
Academics, activities, there's something here for everybody.
Whatever it is that you are looking for, we'll provide it for you.
The most challenging, relevant, cutting-edge programs. The International Baccalaureate project leads the way.
You look at the students, they're leaders. They're challenging themselves academically and spiritually. And it starts in the classroom and then transitions directly onto the field.
The community here is one that genuinely cares about each other.
We celebrate together. We all feel the school spirit.
We all come together on faith.
We are truly the embodiment of one in Christ.
The two questions that we answer with every decision that's made here. Do we support the mission? Are we caring for our students? Yes, of course, calculus is important. Maybe you run a championship-winning team. But what I hope and pray is that our students remember how we made them feel, and that we made them feel respected, important, and that they very much felt a part and welcomed at Archbishop Spalding.
Take a deep breath.
You're going to grow so much.
You're going to be prepared for success in college and in life.
You will find a deepened faith.
Become a leader.
You're going to be pushed more than you ever have been before.
It's going to be difficult.
And this community will help you become the best version of yourself.
You're about to have some of the best days of your lives here.
And when you look back, you will realize you were always part of something bigger.
Getting out the car, walking to school, I was anxious, nervous.
It's a bigger school than I've ever been to. Didn't know any faces.
I remember sitting in that homeroom and feeling all of the nerves and the anticipation and excitement of what high school could bring. But I quickly found out that this was going to be not just my school, but my home.
Everybody had open arms.
There's a genuine love for one another.
Everybody knows everybody.
I care about all of the people I'm surrounded with every day.
When you choose Archbishop Spalding High School to be your home, you're getting a large school that feels like a small family.
You are never alone in this experience at all.
At the end of your time at Spalding, you're going to remember how Spalding lifted you up in the most positive way.
You're always going to feel that connection. You're going to want to come back home.
The Spalding community is definitely one that I would describe as united. There's a genuine desire to serve, to exemplify Christ.
And we see that every day in this building, from something as small as a senior helping a freshman with their locker, a teacher comforting a student. We see it in the smallest and the largest acts of kindness.
I knew it would actually be my calling to strengthen the faith life of the students that were around me in the way that I had my faith life strengthened as a student here before.
There's a million different people, a million different backgrounds. People come from all over the world, but the fact that we can all come together on faith,
that's literally the embodiment of one body in Christ.
Hallmarks of a Spalding athlete. Are they able to compete at the highest level possible? Spalding is positioned very uniquely because they are in one of the best leagues in the state. When they're competing at a high level, that's big time.
It was always known as a great academic school, but we wanted to build a full-rounded school for student athletes. And we knew that they could get to where they're at today.
Since I've graduated from high school, I've watched the campus grow astronomically. Spalding, it laid a foundation for my understanding of teamwork, friendship, and things that were so much bigger than what happened on the basketball court.
They're challenging themselves academically and spiritually, and then transitions directly onto the field where that consistency molds and shapes everybody that's involved.
The future of Spalding athletically is strong and vibrant, and I'm excited for our Cavs.
The growth of this school is unbelievable to me. The opportunities that are afforded to these students, it's impressive.
The nature of our size impacts the growth because of the options that our size enables us to offer our students. We're very deliberate about knowing emerging trends. We have so many different academic programs. We have so many different co-curricular programs.
If there is anything that is of interest to you, all you need to do is ask.
It's great to see how the school and the athletic facilities have improved over the years.
When I have friends who are alumni reach out to me and I tell them that there's now an engineering building, it tells you the health of the school, which is embodied by the people who make it up. That's why it's been so successful. That's why there's so many opportunities at this school.
I think I immediately knew when I came for that open house 7th grade that like everything I had heard was true.
I didn't know what to expect because I'd never been to a Catholic school. I didn't know much about it.
It invited me into a lifetime of experiences that have been unforgettable.
The kids are passionate. You walk in, there's a little bit of electricity in the building. That's hard to describe. It's something that you feel.
I care about school now. I care about all of the people I'm surrounded with every day. I know that they care about me. And it's this sense of community that's enabled me to be able to push myself.
And grow through service. I feel like it made me a well-rounded human being.
I know that Spalding has everything here for all of my children, academically, emotionally, physically.
Whether it's clubs, whether it's sports, they're going to be leaders in and out of the classroom.
What I hope and pray is that at the end of your time at Spalding, you're going to remember how you felt, respected, included, and that you always felt one in Christ.
The opportunities afforded to these students just really speak to the success of this school. It's impressive.
It's more than just learning at school. Like, it's taught me how to treat people, how to grow in my faith, rather than just giving me an education and sending me off to college.
When you choose the Spalding experience, what you're getting is an environment that cares for the individual. This is a place where we welcome people home.
You're going to grow so much.
I know it may be nerve-wracking. This school is bigger than what you're probably used to.
This school, this community is truly like no other.
You will find innovation, a deepened faith life, family.
You're about to have a very crazy ride, but some of the best years of your life.
Back here on the campus of Archbishop Spalding High School, Connor Newcomb, Sean Cottle with you here for this one. Just about to wrap up halftime in the final early season tune-up for the Spalding Cavaliers. They've got a 6-3 lead over Paul VI here. And Sean, it was kind of complete control for the Cavs, but the Panthers got 2 late goals, and they're going to start with the possession on the EMO here to start the second half. So an opening here for the Panthers early.
Without question, 6-1 at the end of the first. Second quarter ends 6-3. So Spalding, they got to start, keeping the gas pedal down, put the ball in the net. It starts with a huge man down stop right here.
So they got 36 seconds left on the penalty to Logan Meehan, who took it right at the end of that first half. PVI was awarded the face-off and then just decided to hold on to the ball for the final 20-plus seconds of the half and instead start with it on the man up in quarter number 3. And let's see if that decision works out, if they can get in a goal and get back within 2. And you mentioned it was 6-1 at the end of the first quarter. It was 6-1 with some time left in the first quarter. There was no goals for a while. And then the final 2.5 minutes of the half, Paul VI got 2 goals to get back in it. 10 seconds on the timer and a save made.
And Connor's going to save that most of the time. That's a deep shot, high to high. And see if they can get it to Mikey and see if he can leg it out, do what he does best.
Yeah, he beats the primary defender, and Spalding is off. Weissauer, nice feed. One extra pass in front, and a big hit from behind. Spalding was in the crease. Like Schreier who hit the deck there.
And it's interesting, they got a transition opportunity when they were going from man down to even. So if you're Paul VI, you gotta pride yourself, get the hole a little bit better.
So we are back to even strength. Panthers not able to score.
Here's this deep ride for Spalding. They take their 3 attackmen and put them down back towards the midline. Try to create more chaos. You got to pass the ball more often that way.
Yeah, without the pass, Panthers were able to break through the midfield line and clear. Now it's Young who had the first goal. Paul VI, he'll go to his right with 40 to shoot now. Moving right again, tries the shot, tough angle, and he scores. Young with his second goal today. Here come the Panthers, they're within 2.
We see Spalding's defense there. They got to be quicker to slide to the short stick D-middies and slower to slide against their poles who can cover really well. So that's got to be an alert call where you see Young dodging against number 19 there, Ben Ruiz. Any short sticks, you got to slide earlier because Paul VI, when they beat their man, they can put it in the net.
Yeah, Ben Ruiz, junior captain, the only junior captain on this team. Rest of the group of captains are seniors, and Coach Phipps talked about it this week. He said the team was just so impressed by Ruiz. They went through some military-type training in the offseason, and the way he just basically became a leader during those sessions. I think the team agreed that there was space for one junior to be a captain of this team, and he has obviously combined that role with a big role on the field as well.
And I had the pleasure of coaching him 2 years ago, and he was a leader back then. And last year he was on JV for about a week, and I said to Coach Phipps, I said, we got to bring this kid up. This kid is a great leader. He can help you right now. And being a junior captain, that just, you can see how highly they regard him.
Yeah, we didn't see him in a huge role last year, but this year that changes. He's going to be a big part of this team. Weissauer got space, fired it wide. And Newell there to keep the possession.
And Paul VI is having a little bit of success with this zone defensively. We'll see how Spalding counters it.
And lost the stick. Nice defending there. Ball gets whipped up in the air. And a whole lot of contact. Had a cameraman in danger down by the pylon.
And that's a good job by the Spalding attack, just staying with the ball, the loose ball there, ride it back, get it back, and we have a fresh 80.
Yeah, so after all that, Cavaliers keep possession. D'Ambrosi, pass was deflected, and Ripley knocked down. While he's on the ground, though, was able to at least attempt to corral that ball, keeps the possession. Ripley, 2 goals early in this one. only multi-goal scorer so far today for Spalding. Weissauer moving left, fires and scores. A laser from Mikey Weissauer.
He is so dangerous when he gets to the left hand, and he's such a great catch and shoot guy on extra man. Usually you don't zone great extra man teams because they move the ball well and they shoot it well. So that's a good way to counter the zone is quick ball movement, drag and replace offense, and just step down shooters. And Spalding has a lot of them.
And Weissauer gets one to go. Finally stops the goalless drought. They did not score for the entirety of the second quarter, and you add in a few minutes at the end of the first, few minutes here at the beginning of the third, and that was a long drought without any goals. But Weissauer ends what also was a 3-0 Panthers scoring run to get right back in this thing. PVI wins a face-off once again. Going right against Brookman. Did enough to push the attacker off his course, and McMahon comes up with it. Threw it right off Brookman. A little miscommunication on the initial clearance attempt. Not sure if Brookman turned around too early or what happened there on that distribution.
And you just did a phenomenal job playing defense. Get the ball back, and you give it right back to Paul VI. It's a little deflating as a defense. You got to finish the possession and get it down to that prolific offense that Spalding has.
So Boyle behind the goal. Now 7-4 Spalding here early in the third quarter. Signorello moving left. Double was coming. Tried a cross field pass, and that one goes wide. Trying to pick out his man on the right side with a good shooting angle.
And that was a great skip. We got to get, if you're Spalding, you got to get sticks and skip lanes.
Boyle gives it up. Gets by Brookman the shot. And they'll reset the shot clock, so McMahon did get a piece of that one, it looks like.
New rule this year, shot clock resets to 60 instead of 80.
And so it does speed up the possessions a little bit. Turnaround shot, they score! Panthers starting to find a little more flow on offense. They're back within 2.
And it's night and day from the first quarter with Paul VI offense. They're moving the ball really well. They're attacking shorties. They're taking advantage of any inch of space that they get, as you see with that left-handed turnaround shot, and beats Connor McMahon near side.
And so PVI right back into this one. Back to a 2-goal game. As they've continued to just grind it out, they've played better and better defense as this game has gone along. And now a chance potentially, could they get it back to 1, but a big face-off win for the Cavaliers.
And Ryan Criswell has a bright future with this Spalding team at the face-off X. Just a freshman out here going against 3 collegiate committed players and winning draws. That's very impressive.
Here's Ripley. Ripley shooting and a save made. Rebound chance. They score. It's Schreier. Got it to go.
And you see with Spalding, when they needed a goal, they went to Mikey Weissauer. And now they, Paul VI answers again. Who do they go to? It's Race Ripley coming off the corner and Ryan Schreier finishing up, cleaning up the garbage there. That's what he does best on the crease.
And one fellow swoop. And again, that was another play, Sean, where the goalkeeper got a big piece of that shot and let it squeak through. I mean, obviously he was in a tough spot. He had gone down to make the initial save. Didn't corral it, left a juicy rebound. And that kind of deflected off his stick and it's kind of looped into the side part of the netting.
Yep, it's crazy difficult. Saving the ball is not enough anymore. You got to go get possession of it. And if you're the defense, you can't let anybody on the crease pick it up and have time to shoot there.
Another funny thing about these early season scrimmages, there's a nice looking hit there and PVI will gain the possession. Panthers been playing this game with 2 guys wearing the number 20 uniform.
A broadcaster's worst nightmare.
One of their face-off guys, Gianchi, is wearing number 20. He was the one who just won that face-off. And then he got it off to another midi who's wearing 20, who we'll have to get a check on who's the other guy wearing 20 today. And the feet in front, they couldn't handle it. Spalding came away with it initially. Ruiz got tripped up, and it'll go to the Cavs.
Interesting, they called a loose ball push there. It looked like Ruiz might have had possession. That's a call we see, makes coaches furious, is that, if you have possession and you get shoved, that should be a 30-second foul. But Ruiz, good job making a tough ground ball and taking the tough hit. And a good job getting up and out early.
So 6 minutes to go in the third. As a flag flies, maybe an offside there.
Yeah, 7 players for Paul VI, so they should have a free slide here. That's the second time we've seen that. And that's something we'll see early with these teams, is subbing mistakes.
Weissauer, skip pass over to Gutierrez. Mikey gets it back. Oh, fires one. Took a deflection, he got it right back. And he feeds one towards Gutierrez. Absorbs the hit and picks up the ground ball. Newell behind the goal, one-on-one. Nice move. Keeps his footing. And they'll reset it. That was a really tough catch. Gutierrez came away with it. And things got a little sloppy there, but with the flag down, it's okay. Cavs will keep the possession, go man up.
Very tough to run an offense when the defense has 7. You know, you get a free slide. Doesn't matter if you beat your guy, somebody's going to be there. It's just trying to get a home run there, use the clock, tire out the defense a little bit, and see if we can go man up.
Yeah, so for that kind of flag, just another one of the intricacies of the game. Once that 7th guy is out there and the flag is already flat, if you're PVI, you just keep him out there because you're getting the penalty either way.
Exactly.
And then once you get that possession back, they call the flag, and, 2 guys get sent off the field.
And more often than not, that 7th guy goes right to the crease, and whenever there's a dodge, they send 2.
Schreier, who had that last goal on the rebound attempt, tried to fit one through, and the pass was deflected, and it's going to be picked up by the Panthers. PVI going the other way. McMahon, a big save. Rebound chance, ground ball picked up by D'Ambrosi.
Great save by Connor. Last thing you want to do is give up, a goal when you're extra man. A shorthanded goal there. Good job by Connor bailing out Spalding there. We got another flag down.
Well, they were offside again, I think. Ripley scores. 9-5 Cavaliers.
Race has got that smooth overhand lefty stroke. So tough for goalies to pick up when you come overhand like that. You can ask any goalie. A lot easier to track when it's sidearm. Race has got that overhand stroke down to a science.
So he fires one home. Back-to-back goals from the Cavs to create a little more separation here. And Sean, it seems like the Panthers in this third quarter are having a little trouble subbing right now.
And that's going to happen. That's going to happen early, and it's just a lack of communication a lot of times on the sidelines. Things get hectic, and this is why you play these tough early scrimmage games, is to try to find out what your strengths and weaknesses are and practice them once you find those out.
Blake Malamphy back to the face-off dot. He'll take on Johnny Kidd on the other side. Malamphy, of course, headed to Salisbury. Kidd on the other end, a Lehigh commit, D1 level. Signorello behind the goal, off to Boyle. And Young, and they set the offense up. Beat inside, turn, shot. That one goes wide. It'll stay on this end.
We haven't seen much of Paul VI offense attacking the poles of Spalding. They're going right after the short stick D middies.
Turn, and that one took a deflection. Stay on this end again. Signorello one-on-one. Trying to find space, couldn't do so. Now Ross with some strong defending. Now it's up to Brookman, and McMahon makes another save. That one, kind of no way he couldn't have made that save. Hit him right in the body. Shot right at him.
Spalding again does a good job running it out. See if they can get up and out early. They got Brookman right there early, and he's just going to leg it. So good settled clear there for Spalding.
So they're looking for another to continue to try and extend this lead.
This could be a key player for Spalding. Number 51, Gordy Bennett, the freshman. I'm excited to see how he fits into this rotation. Very, very talented player.
Weissauer backing up. Ripley feeds inside and actually deflected off of Schreier's stick right into the crease. PVI having a little trouble corralling the clear. But here come the Panthers. Space to work. Boyle shoots, and he scores. PVI back within 3.
That was a 5-on-5 situation there, and Spalding may have been a little confused. I think they were man down in that scenario because as he was driving, he was able to just move it to the point guy who took a shot. Might have been a miscommunication there, but good job by Paul VI taking advantage.
Yeah, you see Ross and Meehan and McMahon all chatting right now. That might be what they're talking about back there. So 9-6 here late in the third. And Kidd wins the faceoff for Paul VI. And an errant pass. They just turn it over almost immediately. Spalding picks up the ground ball. Jackson Roberts now will look to outlet it. Finds Weissauer in the middle of the field, and they clear. Weissauer gives it up. Gutierrez, now he gets it back. Tries to feed the middle of the field. It'll stay here.
I believe it was tipped there.
Weissauer shoots high, save made. Not sure if it was on frame or not, but either way, Deneen came in with it.
Excellent save there. It's not easy to save Michael Weissauer time and room in the middle of the field. I think Mikey might be kicking himself on that one.
PVI clears. About a 7-second difference between game and shot clock here at the end of the third quarter. Final minute of the period.
Flag down here. Didn't see exactly what happened. But Paul VI will be extra man at some point.
Pole here, going to go at it for PVI. Back up to Boyle, just had the goal to make it 9-6. They're going to have to get a shot off because of the shot clock under 25. Shot echoes wide. I think it hit off Ross back there. Bounded up into the air, and the Panthers got the ground ball. Chance here for a shot from Young. He fires it wide. Spalding was back there, and now we will get the whistle for the flag with 17 seconds to go in the third. Trying to see who's being sent off here.
Looks like number 29, Gavin Eiley, will be guilty of a minute slash here. So again, we're in a situation where if you have possession as the clock expires, you will get possession in the fourth quarter.
And we saw them hold in this exact same scenario at the end of the second, Sean, and I think it's going to be the same plan.
It gets a little dicey. You know, you get up to 25 seconds. Do you try to do a little quick hitter and see what you got, or do you just hold the ball and then use that basically a free timeout and talk about what you want to play? And it looks like they're content with
I think
holding it.
They're just going to sit on it right here and end the third. So a little more scoring in this third period, but the Cavs hold on to that 3-goal lead at 9-6. We'll be back for the final quarter of this one here in the Annapolis area. A good one between two of the top high school teams in the area. Back here ready for the start of the fourth quarter. On an EMO opportunity, Paul VI will have possession. Connor Newcomb and Sean Cottle with you here for this one. We thank you so much for joining us here for some preseason action between Archbishop Spalding and Paul VI. It's been a good one as the Panthers got within 2 in that third quarter. They trail by 3, 9-6. They're up a man for another 20 seconds, but it's taken away there by Logan Meehan.
And you see Spalding, they're doing a little bit of experimenting, right? Instead of just packing it in and playing conservative defense, they pressed out as soon as it hit that lower attackman. So everybody pressed out, and a lot of teams are not ready for that. And I can speak as an offensive guy. That's really annoying when you're extra man and you're expecting to just move the ball around the perimeter and get into your offense. So that's a nice little hiccup by Coach Ripley there and Coach Hochul just trying to create a turnover.
There is Race Ripley behind the goal. See if Spalding can capitalize. We've seen twice in this game already PVI go with an extra man at the end of a period, and instead of going to score, they've waited out the final 15 seconds or so and gotten the possession to start the next period. But both times they've been unable to score in that EMO that started the following period. So the strategy is 0 for 2 today for the Panthers, and those 2 goals, potentially, if they could have gotten them both, would really change how this game looks right now.
And you see a little gamesmanship there from the Spalding sideline. You know, instead of just playing the base man-down, 5-man rotation that they played all game, they went out with something different. And I can speak from experience, I don't think Paul VI really game planned for that in the expiring quarter. So that was really good coaching over there by Spalding.
Young, he scores, and he's got a hat trick. Back to a 2-goal game now as the Panthers get the even strength goal.
Yeah, Alley's shot went 5-hole there. I thought that could have been a save. I think if you ask Connor McMahon if that should have been a save, I think he would say yes. One of the few ones that I think he should have had today, just overhand down the alley 5-hole.
And that's a lot like Young's first goal, the very first goal of the day for PVI, also went 5-hole on McMahon. And it's back to a 2-goal game. This is as close as they've been. They had it at 6-4 at one point in the third. Now at 9-7 with 10 minutes to play. Another face-off win for the Panthers. So it was a 6-1 Spalding lead at the end of 1. But the Panthers have played a lot better lacrosse since then.
Yeah, they've settled in. They look like a completely different team from the second quarter on, and you can really see the talent start to come against this good Spalding defense.
And the other thing was the Spalding offense was just operating on all cylinders in that first quarter. Hasn't been the same since as that shot fired wide. We'll stay on this end with the Panthers. Boyle, he's got 2 goals. He's looking for a hat trick. He turns and scores.
Wow.
Wraparound shot from Carson Boyle. We've got a 1-goal game with plenty of lacrosse to play here today.
Incredible dodge there by Boyle. He goes backhand. You know, if you're the Spalding defense, got to be more physical once he hits goal line. You're looking to drive him back towards X. And Boyle does a great job with just a sliver of space getting that thing in, and we got a 9-8 ball game.
So hat trick for Boyle, hat trick for Young on the PVI side. 6 of their 8 goals coming right there. Their star, Marco Signorello, has not scored yet, but we'll see if he can get hot late in this game and try and put them on top. As Malamphy not able to come up with it, another face-off win. It's Johnny Kidd who wins it for PVI. They got a chance to tie the game with 9 minutes to go.
And I find it interesting that this is a scrimmage here, but we're seeing the ones go deep into this ball game. Both teams really want to win this. They want to see what their ones are made of, just to get ready, because the season is right around the corner.
Yeah, talking to Coach Phipps this week, he said, you know, they're treating it like a real game that's going to count on the schedule. And it's been a good one so far. Signorello looking to tie it against Brookman. Left-handed shot, fires it wide, and Panthers there to back it up. 40 on the shot clock.
Little too much space there. I would pick up the Dodger at about 13 yards, and that was about 8 yards, especially with a talented player like that. Great save by Connor.
McMahon makes a huge stop, keeps his team in this 1-goal advantage. Wasn't going to let them beat him 5-hole again. So outlet to Brookman. He's going to take it himself, and nicely done.
And we got a flag down for an offsides. Just tippy-toed straight over the line here, so Spalding's going to be extra again.
And they almost immediately dumped it into the corner. They're going to go to the EMO. 8:14 to go in this one as the referee will come pick up the flag. It's another offside. It's been a plethora of them today for the Panthers. And a 30-second extra man for the Cavaliers.
You know, any team I coach or I've seen other teams coach is that they really try to emphasize no fouls by attackmen, right? Offensive end of the field. You don't want to slash when you're riding or to run over the line. You really want to try to emphasize no fouls as an attackman because there's no reason you should.
So we'll see what the Cavs can do with this shortened extra man opportunity. Schreier and Ripley up top.
Looks like a 3-3 free here.
Weissauer felt the double, got tripped up. Now just 10 seconds on the EMO. Augie D'Ambrosi. And back to even strength. The extra defender comes in, shot from Schreier, save made. Got a new goalie in there for PVI, he makes the stop. Here come the Panthers, looking for a pole goal, and McMahon makes another big save going low.
Unbelievable save there. Connor read that the whole way out of the defenseman's stick. And that was a good job by Spalding trying to take advantage of the 6-on-5 because while the penalty was up, they were not yet even because he was running in and trying to get matchups. You're still extra man until they guard all 6 players on the field there, Connor.
Yeah, back-to-back huge stops to keep it at 9-8 by McMahon. This will stay on this end under 7 to play now. They've still got a lot of attention on Weissauer when he catches the ball. Somebody else going to need to step up here.
Back to that zone look for Paul VI. Seems like anytime they try to initiate from behind, Paul VI goes right into a zone.
Ripley. Coach Phipp talked about him maybe taking on an even bigger role this year. Gutierrez finds Ripley, and he fires it home.
There's that overhand stroke from his wing there. Beats the goalie near side. It was a great skip pass at the top by Gutierrez, I believe, and Race was ready for it.
A hat trick for the senior Race Ripley. And the Cavaliers get a little breathing room again at 10-8. As Ripley, the Navy commit, who's not going to be going far to play his college lacrosse next year.
Absolutely. Race is he's so important to this team, you know, because you have what you have in Michael Weissauer. He's one of the best players in the country. Race Ripley, Ryan Schreier, the freshman Jack Newell, you know, Jamison Kaufman, Nick Gutierrez. Those are the guys they need to be their horses, and I think they're prepared to do so. But they're going to have an expanded role because of the guys that have left last year. You know, Josh Tang's not here. You know, the step-down shooter. Who's going to kind of gravitate into that role? It's something that they'll find throughout the season, their identity, people stepping up in different spots.
Yeah, it's an interesting team because they had so much talent last year, and they didn't lose a whole lot of it. Obviously, Tang was a big part of this offense. As they feed to Gutierrez, he fires wide. But among the top teams in the MIAA, you feel like Spalding probably lost just the least amount of goals probably from last season, which puts them in a good spot this year. And Tang, a tough guy to replace, obviously. He did a lot of things for this team last year, but they got to feel good about the returning group and these couple of freshmen that they've gotten in there.
Without question, you know, there's 31 freshmen here at Spalding that play lacrosse, so that's a huge number. And you know, whether it be on the JV level, you know, the varsity level, the fresh soft level, the future's going to be bright for this program with all these freshmen that are here.
Flag coming out. It's going to be called against Ripley. And with 5:38 to go, the Panthers will have it down 2, and they'll be a man up. So we'll see how they close the game here, Sean. Obviously, you know, again, it's a scrimmage, but both teams treating it like one that counts.
It certainly doesn't feel like a scrimmage out there, Connor, with the energy from both sidelines and the high-level lacrosse we're seeing. These teams are playing to win.
Yeah, you know the talent on the other side of you. When you're one of the guys on the bench, you look to your right or to your left. You know how many talented guys are there, and obviously an out-of-conference matchup, but a lot of these talented teams in Virginia know a lot about these talented teams in Maryland. This is where most of the talent pool is for high school lacrosse, and they hear things about Paul VI, and Paul VI hears things about how good Spalding is, and they want to win this game whether it shows up on their end-of-year record or not.
Right, and these guys are familiar with each other, whether it be showcases or club ball. They know exactly who they're going against, and they know that they're talented players, so the competitive nature is really coming out.
Just an awkward-looking pass there, kind of handcuffed one of the PVI attackers.
Great job by Gavin Eiley chasing that loose ball down.
Eiley picks it up to Schreier. Didn't have the numbers he thought he might have, so he slows it up.
I believe they're going to kill this penalty, get it back to 6-on-6, and this would be a huge time to convert a goal to go up 3 here as we're dwindling under 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3 seconds to go on the penalty time, so they'll wait it out a little longer, and they'll get back to even strength as Ripley comes back on the field. Ripley got it to Weissauer, at least tried to get it to Weissauer. Newell's going to run it down, and a nice job tiptoeing the end line to keep it in. Behind the goal, Schreier. Quick pass, they feed up top for Gutierrez. 30 to shoot still, they got plenty of time. Ripley with the hat trick already. Took a shot, got it to Gutierrez. Gutierrez found space. Oh, what a pass over to Weissauer, but he sent it high with 17.
And that's how you beat a zone, right, is dragging your guy out to the corner of his zone and then try to move the defense with skip passes, and that's what they're doing.
Gutierrez to Ripley, 10 to shoot. Cavs got to go. On a low pass there, got away from him, so they do run off pretty much the entire shot clock, but it's a turnover.
Shorty picks it up, so Spalding's going to double the ball on the ride. Smart move, try to take both shoulders, force him back.
And they knock the ball out, but we'll get a whistle against the Cavs. And another just out of sync clearance. McMahon's going to watch it roll out of bounds and keep the possession. So a break there for Spalding, they'll take it. Now, when it's a 1-goal game, at this point, the clock isn't as much of a factor. But when it's a 2-goal game, you've got that cushion. You do start checking the clock here with just about 3 minutes to go.
Right. But you want to be careful that you don't, use the whole shot clock and let them go this way. You want to try to get quality looks here, but the shot clock, you want to do a quality looks deep into the shot clock. Not take an early shot, but you do want to take good shots here.
So we're under 3 minutes to play. Got 55 on the shot clock here. They're behind the goal. Ripley, nice pass, and a goal. That's a big one there as Newell gets his second, and it's 11-8.
It's great seeing freshmen playing high-level lacrosse there. Race does a great job. We seem to have some extracurricular.
And we got a late flag. Goal's going to count, but you see it on the replay here. A nice little scoop pass from Ripley, and then just a low shot from Newell, good stick work, and he scores.
Race does a great job initiating from X. He drives that side, and then the zone of Paul VI, I don't think they were quite set yet, so they were able to throw the ball to Jack Newell there. Zones are built to top to bottom. They're really good up top, and they're a little weaker down at the bottom. So it's good for Spalding to kind of initiate from X, throw it to that adjacent wing, and Jack Newell was ready to catch it loaded and fire.
Jack Newell scored early. He scores late. It's a big goal to go up 3. We'll see what the penalty becomes. It is going to be against the Panthers, it looks like.
Dead ball foul, so it should be possession Spalding.
They get 2 of them against PVI. They got 2 penalties up on the board right now. 2 1-minute calls. If PVI is going 2 men down, this is going to make it
looks like it's be a 6v4.
Yeah, this is going to make it almost impossible for them to make a comeback right here. as you go down the 3 goals under 3 minutes to play. And I mean, your best case scenario if you're PVI, if you are 2 men down, is most likely Spalding runs out the 80 and doesn't score.
Right, and it's a shame because, you know, Paul VI has been doing a good job with the face-offs for a little bit there. So the dead ball foul takes the face-off completely out of it and gives possession to Spalding.
So we'll see how aggressive Spalding is, obviously with the 2-man advantage. Already scored on a couple of those today.
You want to take a great shot here. You don't want to take the first shot. You want to take a great shot at 6-on-4.
And what you don't want to do is turn it over. Had a little bit of a scare there. D'Ambrosi got it back. Gutierrez, skip pass, Weissauer, extra pass, they score right on the doorstep. How about a hat trick for the freshman Newell?
And Jack Newell's a guy that I coach on my club team for the 2025 Hawks. You know, he's so versatile in what he could do, and he's so dangerous from that lefty wing. He's your perfect extra man player, and, you know, you can run him out of the box too. He's a good dodger, a good initiator, so it's nice to see him out here for the Spalding's varsity team with a hat trick against a great opponent like Paul VI.
Yeah, a bit of a tough angle shot, but didn't matter. He slots it home, and
he's a very, very accurate shooter, especially from that lefty side.
Yeah, it looks like were those penalties unreleasable.
They seem to be dead ball, unreleasable fouls, so Spalding will still be 2 extra here.
And even if PVI wins the faceoff, well, that's a moot point. So Spalding, you know, obviously you can run another 80 off, but there was a question, would they just go at it? Maybe they will. Brian Phipps going to talk it over. 2 minutes to go when we return. Spalding trying to close out a victory. Spalding coming out of the timeout, 2:05 to play. They lead at 12-8. Connor Newcomb, Sean Cottle here with you. And Sean, we talked about it a little bit in the break there, but you know, maybe in a regular season game you try and run off these 71 seconds, but in a scrimmage with a 2-man up, maybe you go for it here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested to see what they do here. Maybe a little quick hitter. It does look like they're attacking the net here.
And they are, and Ripley gets his 4th.
Ripley with his 4th goal of the game, still extra with these unreleasable penalties. They're still 6-on-4 for another 2 seconds here.
And that was well done, and I think that probably one of the main reasons why Brian Phipps called that timeout. You can draw something up, you can communicate the plan that, hey, we're going for one more on the 2 unreleasable penalties, and that obviously puts this one away. That the dagger from Race Ripley.
Right, and also you can get Malamphy off the field and your offensive personnel on the field quickly without subbing. You know, subbing takes time, so this way you can just get out in your 6-on-4, draw something up, and get ready to go. So that was a great timeout by Coach Phipps.
Really good job by Spalding closing this game. PVI got it to 9-8. They had a couple of possessions. They had a couple of shots at 9-8. McMahon made 2 huge saves. Each of those shots could have tied the game at 9. As Weissauer with a great trail check right there.
Right, it's very important to find out who you are when your back's against the wall a little bit, especially early. And Spalding did a great job responding to the adversity that they had. And give credit to Paul VI. They've been battling all game.
Yeah, Spalding closing well with 4 straight goals. They got the possession back. And how about Mikey Weissauer there? You know, he's going to get all the attention for his offense, but makes a little defensive play.
And he's a leader. You know, he'll do anything they ask. You know, he'll do the wing of face-offs. He'll play extra man. You know, he'll ride the ball well. He'll clear the ball well. He's there. He really is their do-it-all horse, and he's a leader out there, and you saw it there.
So it'll most likely be this one final possession for the Spalding offense. We'll see if they can get one more in the back of the net. Started off hot. Offense kind of went cold in the middle part of the game, but they've been clicking here late to pull away and clinch this victory.
Hey, and from Spalding, we need to see more consistency, right? Because you see flashes of greatness, and I think they'll get there. They'll find their identity, whether it takes, you know, a week, 2 weeks, or a month. They'll find their identity, and you see the talent in flashes here.
Gutierrez skip pass, another touch pass, and a good one. Little contact there. Weissauer brings it in with 15. Now Gutierrez, under 30 seconds in the game, 9 on the shot clock. Gutierrez might just run it out.
This is where you might just try to roll it in the corner, set up your ride.
Gonna do. And there is a flag actually on the opposite side. It's kind of in the area of, was PVI offside again? Yeah, they might have been.
I did not see that, Connor, but they might have been again. And you know, when you go back and watch the film, you know, the Paul VI coaching staff, they're going to work on subbing and riding, clearing, that kind of stuff. And those are the early season mistakes you see. It's just, can you correct them in time for conference play?
And again, you know, maybe in a regular season game, you might just sit on this, but you get one more EMO chance for your extra man offense. Maybe you try to, you know, implement something else, see how they do in these 19.6 seconds. We'll see what Spalding wants to do. D'Ambrosi, they'll pass it around, and maybe if a shooting lane opened up, but I think the Cavs will just sit on this one, and rightfully so. They finished this game strong with 4 straight goals. And in the final scrimmage of the year, Archbishop Spalding with impressive win over Paul VI. As the clock runs out, and the Cavs win it 13-8 over the Panthers in this one. And Sean, pretty impressive performance. You know, they had a big lead. I mean, this looked like it was going to be a rout after one quarter. They were playing probably their best quarter of lacrosse so far in this preseason. PVI showed their talent in the middle of the game, and then Spalding pulled away late. I think Brian Phipps is going to be really happy with this performance overall.
I agree completely, Connor. I think he's going to be very happy with this performance. This is the best scrimmage they've looked so far. This is the best they've looked in a scrimmage against a very good opponent in Paul VI. You know, nationally ranked. They got Division I commits all over the field. And Spalding was able to start fast. And, you know, when you start fast, when you win the first 5 minutes, it makes the game a heck of a lot easier. And you saw that they did that. And I think the coaching staff is going to be thrilled.
4 goals from Race Ripley in this one, and a big game for the freshman Jack Newell. He had a hat trick as well, leading Spalding to the wins. For our entire production crew, Paul Garza and my partner, Sean Cottle, I'm Connor Newcomb signing off from Spalding. One more time, the Cavs win their final preseason game, 13-8 over Paul VI. We thank you so much for watching and hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.